Hello, Local 304. Hey, let me start out by wishing y'all a happy May Day. You know what a what a difference. When I was a kid in school, we learned about May Day, and we had a maypole, and we decorated it, and we got a little thing of flowers for our moms, and took them home. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that May Day has a lot of significance for workers, and that I know I mentioned this to you in one of our earlier YouTube videos when we talked about the Haymarket rally and those 8 brothers that gave up their lives so that we could have 8-hour work days. And this is all tied into it because it was actually May 1st of 1886 that a proclamation was made back in 84 convention of the FL-CIO to to declare that a work day was 8 hours. And so there were hundreds of thousands of workers that went on strike May 1st and kind of culminated on May 3rd. But May 1st is the day. And it was a really interesting quote that I read that I'd like to read you today because I think it really does mean a lot to us when we talk about the 8-hour workday, the 2-day weekends, and the things that we kind of take for granted now as labor. But those things were shed a lot of blood to get. So this particular author, Eric Chase, back in 1993, wrote a piece on the brief origins of May Day, and I really liked his last paragraph, if you will, in that he said that, of course, the Haymarket monument reads that the day will come when our silence will be more powerful than the voices you are throttling today. And that was, in remembrance of those labor leaders that were charged with murder, even though most of them weren't even at the rally that day. And those that were in plain sight, so everybody could see that they were not the ones that threw the bombs. Truly, history has a lot to teach us about the roots of our radicalism. When we remember that people were shot so we could have an 8-hour day, if we acknowledge that homes with families in them were burned to the ground so we could have Saturday as part of the weekend, when we recall 8-year-old victims of industrial accidents who marched in the streets protesting working conditions and child labor law, only to be down by the police and company thugs, we understand that our current condition cannot be taken for granted. People fought for the rights and dignities we enjoy today, and there's still a lot more to fight for. The sacrifices of so many people cannot be forgotten, or we'll end up fighting for those same gains all over again. This is why we celebrate May Day. Um, it's hard to remember that back in those days, we talk a lot about in the IBW that Henry Miller was organizing those in the electrical trades because of all the death and injury that was going on. Well, just imagine that you're working extended hours in those times when you had those conditions. 10, 16-hour work days were very common back in those days, back in the 1800s, 1880s. And so that's why unions were formed, and that's why the blood was shed in order to get us to 8-hour work days. And then obviously we still fight today for the ability to have a safe work environment, whether we're talking about any work hazard that's out there, any specific to our task hazards, let alone this coronavirus hazard. So brothers and sisters, keep up the good work out there. We need to continue our fight every day for maintaining our ability to have a safe work environment. The executive board reset the election dates, and I think I said this last week, but I want to keep telling you because it's very important. Any member out there that wants to run for an office needs to know these dates, that they have to be present or have a letter on file for the August meeting saying that they accept the nomination. So the letter for nominations will go out in July. Nominations will be held in August. The vote in September and new officers in October. So please spread that word, brothers and sisters. We really want to keep moving this local union forward and make sure our members are engaged. Speaking of being engaged, I'm always looking for different communication enhancements. And so one of the things I thought about, just because we're in this period of coronavirus, that we're using a lot of Zoom meetings. And so I thought this might be a good time to open it up to say that any member out there that would like to have an opportunity to have a discussion with the business manager, the more the merrier, just email me. Then I can set up a Zoom meeting where I send you an email invite. We can get on a computer and talk to one another, and especially in this time when we can't have face-to-face meetings, but even afterwards, if you can't attend a meeting for any reason and you got some concerns you want to talk to the business manager about, I'm more than happy to communicate with you. So think about that. Well, the office will reopen to the public starting Monday, May 4th. The governor's stay-at-home order gets relaxed on midnight Sunday night, May 3rd, and I know the counties haven't all made their plans yet, and every appearance is that we're not going to see a huge difference in where we're at today to the 1st of May, but we will be opening the office back up. We will not hold a local meeting in May. I did get the May meeting canceled just because they're still saying no more than 10 can be together, and all the social distancing and whatnot that goes along with that. So we just thought it's easier if we try to get back into the groove with our units and local meeting, hopefully in June. We'll keep you informed as we get closer to that. So you see behind me, I know we talked about this, but there's one of the COVID shirts. Again, just like the stickers we talked about, they're going like hotcakes. The deal on the shirts is that we want to RSVP. We want you to call in to the hall at 785-235-2301. If you just hit 0 when you hear the prompts, you'll roll to Nicole. Tell her your name, size, how many you want, and then she'll get back in touch with you. We do accept credit cards over the phone, and so talk to her about getting those. We ran out of our first order. We got a second order coming in, and that's why it's important to RSVP, because if we end up running out, we can look at another order. The stickers have been a very hot item, and we've ordered another 1,500 or so of those. So stay in touch with us about those. Gene had a great idea, and I'd like to propose it to you guys, that we make another run at social media with flying the Union colors. So take a picture of yourself, whatever you're doing, in a Union shirt, Union hat, Union face mask, and post that on social media. Make sure that you tag Local 304, and then whoever gets the most likes, shares out of that, we'll do something for them. So again, I just want to make sure, especially in this time, that we're not able to hold our face-to-face meetings and not able to get out as much as we would like. We're really getting tied to our Zoom and conference calls, trying to still keep up with our daily business. So it makes it more difficult to get out there and have these types of communications. So I really want to thank you guys for continuing to communicate with us. Stewards, my God, I can't thank you enough for everything that you're doing and being the face of this office in every one of your workplaces. This COVID-19 stuff I'd like to say it's winding down. We've done a great job. Local 304 has not had any coronavirus hit any of our members. Our workplaces have been fairly safe. I was on a call today that they said that we still have about 24 in Evergy that are home on the quarantine for different reasons. I know that KGAS, I heard something like 5 in the state that were quarantined recently. So there's still a little bit of that going on, but we've been lucky, and everything that we're doing is slowing or stopping the spread. And keep those brothers and sisters in your hearts and prayers that are not as lucky as we've been in what we're doing. Con Ed, for example, has had a lot of disease in their work environment, and even have deaths in that utility. So keep up the good work. Stay in touch with the office, and Local 304, you have a good weekend. Enjoy May Day for celebrating labor. Thank you.